I wanted to share this video because only one person joined my online chat today, and it was quite helpful to her to hear the explanation of this etivity. So I just wanted to make a short video if you wish to watch this and gain some understanding this way. So for this one, this is choice A. So it's the grade 2 student and a step 1. And they're telling you to modify this reading expectation. So let me just say, in case you don't have experience with ELL modifications or special education modifications, modification is when you have to change the expectation and that therefore it is below grade level. It's not grade level. So you're changing it or you're giving fewer expectations. And in this case, we're actually changing the expectation because an ELL student who has no English will not be able to reach the expectations for grade 2 in reading and writing and oral and visual communication. So you will have to modify for them. And this activity is showing you how you can modify. So it's saying your actual activity is asking you to modify this expectation. So the student will automatically read and understand many high frequency words, some words with common spelling patterns, words of personal interest or significance in a variety of reading contexts. A step 1 student who has no English will not be able to do all of this. So we have to take the idea of this expectation, look at our step level 1 in reading, and see what matches it. So we're looking at the reading for primary, step 1. We're reading through these descriptors and picking out which one or ones we could use in order to help the student and modify this expectation. So in this etivity, I'm not going to go through this one specifically, but I did want to show you their example that they gave you of how you meld the expectation with the descriptors in the step. So their example is in grade 2. By the end of grade 2, you stated and implied information and ideas in text to make simple inferences and reasonable predictions about them. Students will not be able to read text at this point. They might not even know the letters of the alphabet or the sounds that they make. So you really have to look to the step descriptors in level 1, step 1, in order to see what you can pick out to make this expectation achievable for the student. So in here, they're giving the example that these 2-step descriptors, learning basic vocabulary, becoming familiar with conventions of English print, and then initially gaining understanding mainly from illustrations and progressing to reading simple high-frequency words, simple familiar sentences, and a variety of adapted simple texts. So if we take those and we meld them together, we get that the ELL will read pictures because you see here, it says gaining understanding mainly from illustrations. So at the beginning, they might only be able to look at the picture, right? Mainly from illustrations. So we'll read pictures in simple text. So it's simple text with not a lot of words during shared reading activities. So that's when you're reading, they're following, then they might repeat the words that they see or the pictures that they see and begin to make simple inferences. So an example of that, by the way, what that would be in practice, could be that maybe in the picture, there's a picture of a boy and he's crying, and then the student might be able to infer that that child is sad. So you see how we took this big expectation, that's grade level, and then we took the step descriptors and we put them in so that we have an expectation that's achievable for the student. And also you would notice that at the beginning, it doesn't say by the end of grade 2, it just says the ELL will, because as the student finishes one descriptor in the step and they move to the next, this expectation would change. And so it won't just be at the end of grade 2. It could be mid-grade 2 as they're going through the levels of the step. So in this activity, you have to take this one expectation that you're given, depending on your choice up here, and take this descriptors that match it and create your modified expectation. Then when you look at etivity 6, this is going to be now your group activity. You have to look at your case study, and they want you to pick a cluster of expectations. And I explained this in my last video, so I'm not going to go over it again, but in the video that I emailed, it tells you to take the expectations. So just like I explained to you, you would look at the reading, the writing, the oral, visual, whatever you chose, and the descriptors that match it so that you can come up with expectations that the student can reach. And then accommodations are things like sentence starters, graphic organizers, talking with the teacher, so going over it orally, things like that are accommodations. And I believe that in eTivity 4, there might be a list of those in eTivity 4, because that's the one where you're looking at accommodations and modifications. So I just wanted to share that with you, and hopefully it will be helpful.